Hello everyone, this is Mohammed Bilal Iqbal from Sangfor Technologies, Oman, and today's topic is Sangfor VDI solution. I hope you guys are listening, and I am audible to you guys as well, and my screen is visible to you. And in this webinar, we will be discussing on Sangfor aDesk solution, how it is cost effective, how it is enhance your performance and security and provide you simplicity, whether you are in an organization, whether you are outside the organization, and as part of the end nodes or from the administrative node, how simple and secure it is. So let's start with the slide. So today we will be discussing why we need VDI and how we can use, like we will be comparing your traditional PC with the VDI solution, how it is secure and simple to deploy as compared with the PC, and how we can use it as a work from home solution. Also, we will be discussing some VDI scenario and case study. At last, I will show you the demo of application and a desktop solution. So, part one, why VDI? As we are aware that traditional PC environment lack the centralized data protection management. Okay, securing each endpoint require deploying and maintaining multiple third-party agents, which is both complex and incentive for IT team. So moreover, the absence of centralized control make management insufficient, sorry, make management insufficient, and additionally, under the current regional and weather condition, employees are unable to securely access their office PC and work remotely. So, impacting productivity and business continuity. So, these are the factors which will not be achieved when you are using the traditional PC environment. Okay, so it is extremely difficult for the data protection, whether your data is inside the PC, so it is difficult to protect and then hard to manage. There is no centralized management as then not to have a remote access. So while you are outside and working from home, so it is very difficult for employee to work and access his own data which is inside his PC. So IT labor resources are wasted, no worthless operation and maintenance. Like when you consider like a resource like a laptop or a PC given to a user, it consume a resource. It consume you can say hardware. Okay, so basically when you give a PC or laptop to a particular user, so you need to maintain it. You need to troubleshoot it. Okay, routine operational maintenance tasks and add limited values. Okay, allocating dedicated PC or laptop to individual user often result in un reutilize resource and insufficiency in management. So furthermore, the endpoint management demands like significant manpower with approximately one engineer required per 100 device. Okay, so while troubleshooting it and supporting the end user, it is leading like higher operational cost and reduce the efficiency of your. So, what are the challenges of traditional PC we are facing currently, and how we can overcome these by having a VDI solution? As discussed, hardware resources are often underutilized due to the fixed configuration of assigned to the individual user. In addition, maintaining hardware and software in each PC individually is a very challenging for our IT team. By why it is consuming the resource. It is consuming the IT, uh, support staff. Okay, storing company's data on a local PC and hard drive. So basically, if a user store all his data in a local PC and this local PC hard drive fail or any other hardware failure occurs, then your data will be lost completely. You cannot retrieve it. So basically, and there is no centralized management as okay while you are using this traditional PC environment or laptop environment. So you don't have like support from online working, remote working, okay, mobile device you don't have. And then when you are out of company or out of country, you cannot work with your own um, so PC cannot provide end-to-end security solution as highlighted in the report. Approximately 47% of PC worldwide have been affected by malware, resulting in an estimated financial impact of around about 8 billion USD dollar. Additionally, in this industry, uh, chart, like you can see in a manufacturing sector have experienced in infection largely due to the insufficient data protection measure. Furthermore, the data indicates that the confidential data leak is caused by internal factors, such as you can see the percentage is high, 47.62% internal staff like it, the staff are not educated with the threads like internal threads and external thread. So basically what the data they are managing, what the data they are working on is being compromised by their uneducation and by their not effective prevention of the security. Okay, so the thread will be affected and then your data will be compromised. In some case, weak security configuration by the administrator also contribute these incident, like the data loss because of the administrator late security configuration. Then what are the advantages of VDI compared with the PC? Here we can discuss about some advantages of VDI over the traditional PC, resource allocation and utilization, like improve the performance and enables you to allocate resource based on user requirement. Okay, data is stored on backend of like in the server with a multiple copy to enhance the data protection. Okay, so basically as compared to PC, the data is locally present inside the PC. If something goes wrong with the PC hardware, your data is completely lost. So while using a VDI, we are providing a resource, elastic resource allocation. The data of a user is saved centrally in the server. Unified software environment management improve the IT efficiency. Like our administrator is managing your whole VDI setup centrally. Okay, whenever user requires some software to be installed, some troubleshooting to be involved, like it can be managed remotely, it can be managed by centrally. Okay, support remote user access from any location on any device. So basically, when you are adopting a VDI solution, you are enabling yourself to protect your data, to have a low utilization, like resource utilization. You can reuse your resource of the server for multiple users and the security as well. Then comes the remote user management and remote access. So you can access your company data while you are traveling, while you are working from home solution. Why? Because your all data will be saved in the server in a central location. So whenever you are working from home, so you have like we have our thin client as well. You can connect via thin client. You can reuse your laptop or PC. We have an agent, and you can deploy an agent on top of your PC or laptop or mobile device. Connect with the mobile device remotely with your official desktop. This is like how we like VDI solution is cost effective. You can see using thin client instead of traditional PC help reduce overall cost. Like thin client consume much lesser power, saving up to 80% on electricity. They also have a longer lifespan as compared to PC, 2 to 3 years more than PC. Okay, which reduce the need of frequent hardware replacement. Because thin client have a simple and fanless design, they require less maintenance and have fewer hardware, you can say, issues. Additionally, since all the process is done on the centralized server, the server become more reliable and easier to manage. Overall, this solution has reduced both like the operational and hardware cost while improving the efficiency of working in an organization and dealing with the security as well. If you guys have any questions, you can chat with me and I can give you in a FAQ session their answer as well. So let us discuss what Sangfor VDI solution is offering you to simplify your communication, to secure your network, internal network, and outside when you are accessing your VDI solution to secure that communication and to enable yourself with cost-effective solution with simplicity. Okay, this is the architecture of Sangfor VDI solution. On your left side, you can see we have the user devices. So basically, we have our own thin client. Okay, so in that architecture, you will be finding that we are providing one-stop solution. All the hardware, all the software is from Sandfor side. So it is like one-stop solution. If something goes wrong to your software, if something goes wrong to your hardware, the point of contact will be Sandfor. Okay, so we are providing you one-stop solution in our VDI architecture. Like if you are accessing from a user and then we have our own thin client and we can have like third party integration with third party thin client as well. So if you don't have thin client, then we are enabling you to reuse your old PC by installing our VDI agent, VDI client on top of your PC. And you can use your VDI desktop or application in mobile devices. Okay, so the access through your devices, which is end devices, the access will be given by our own controller, which is VDC. So as compared to other VDI technologies or brand, they have multiple modules to integrate and provide you the VDI solution. But Sandfor simplicity is that we have our own hypervisor, our own hardware, and our own virtual desktop controller. That virtual desktop controller is available in hardware and software. Let's suppose if you have our own hypervisor, okay, you can install our VDC on top of our hypervisor. Okay, by utilizing your server resources. Let's suppose if you can see in middle, we have our own hardware that is capable of CPU, RAM, disk, and GPU. So our VDI solution enables a user 2D and 3D solution. So by having, let's suppose, you can make a profile that department only include 2D solution. So you can give 2D solution to these particular department. And if there is a 3D user or 3D group of user, you can allocate multiple GPU profile and multiple policies to that particular GPU required group. And then on top of it, we have our own hypervisor. On By using our hyper, you can have like virtual desktop environment and application virtualization by having our hypervisor controlled by our virtual desktop. So you can create virtual desktop scenario, and you can create virtual application scenario from VDC as well. Then the management panel, you can use the management panel of VDC by adding the local user or integrating your identity management, like whether it is LDAP, whether it is AD, whether it is Radius server or 4A server. So you can sync all the user to our VDC, and we can have like multiple profile, multiple policy set, multiple resources for multiple group of users. Okay, and then we can define multiple policies for those group, and we can allocate multiple VMs for those resources, those roles, those policies, and those group of users. And what are the scenario for this VDI solution? Let's suppose secure office, like you are connecting to remotely or internally, and we are providing a secure office. We have a remote work scenario, R&D scenario, like call center. You can use in education sector as well, like as a student who are using in labs. So we are more into education sector as well. Production line, 2D and 3D design, as I mentioned, we support our hardware support GPU as well. So 2D and 3D design we can accommodate as well. And as far as application concern, you can map your application to specific user. Let's suppose a user don't require a full desktop, so you can have a business application mapped to that specific user. So this is the scenario of anytime, anywhere, any device. So we are providing you the solution that is capable enough to access your data, which is centrally located in your data center. Okay, not in the desktop, not on any other standalone PC or server. So it will be centralized, and all your file can be shared across different platforms, enabling smoother workflow. Okay, so like you can use your desktop, you can use your smart device like smartphone, whether it is Android or iOS, or your tablet as well, laptop as well. And then we are offering the thin client, so you can use these devices to have a VDI solution. And then application scenario, as I mentioned, that we have application scenario and a full desktop scenario, like how user will be logged in to securely log into your infrastructure, and how it will be authenticated and provide their allocated resources. First, a user will be logged in by having their domain credential or our local user credential to the VDC, and then VDC assign the application resource or a desktop location. This slide indicates that the application virtualization architecture. So each and every user, when it logs in, then the VDS will assign some resources which will be already given to that particular user. So whether it is a business system, file server, the software application, you can map those to a specific user. And then the image of the desktop, the keyboard, mouse will be used from the remote side. Okay, then the efficiency protocol, we have our own protocol SRAP to encrypt and to enhance that communication between the end user and your workstation like VDI, how it will be delivering the application in secure manner and in efficient. So this is the comparison as compared to your traditional PC with our VDI solution. What uh, benefit we are giving in terms of security, resilience, electricity saving, and the cost saving. So you can see in a security, data stored in VDI is in your server, not in your end device. Okay. As compared to the PC, your data is locally preserved, whether it is in a form of a single hard disk, whether it is in a form of RAID solution or disk in encryption. So basically, we are providing you a centrally located storage which is having two or three copy of your data and then the encryption in it. Then we have a DLP, data leak prevention. We are giving you watermarking, anti-screen shot, USB control, and export file audit feature inbuilt in our VDI solution. Whether in a traditional PC, you need to integrate the DLP solution to have these DLP functions. Next come to the network security. We have embedded distributed firewall in our hypervisor and VDI solution. Then you can have a micro segmentation in our scenario. Unified configuration by the IT staff. And when you are going for the traditional PC, you have a system firewall configured by each and every user. Then resilient work like resource sharing, as I mentioned while discussing the VDI solution, remote work, you can do the remote work and access your data from the van, from anywhere as well. Mobile work, which allows you to have mobility in your working, whether it is a Windows, Mac OS, Android, iPhone, or Linux. And you in the traditional PC, you are limited with the RDP solution, like some of open source remote access like TeamViewer, AnyDesk solution. And then you have a hard to use in mobile device. You cannot use your PC in the remote like mobile devices as well. Efficiency, deployment efficiency, we will be talking about like in a traditional PC, preparing and configuration or ghost file one by one, and you need to prepare that PC and install one by one all the application that are required by the end user. But in a VDI solution, it is a unified environment delivered to the multiple user in a minute. Let's suppose you install a template, installed every application in one template, and this distribute all the template to required VDI user. Okay, and then we have a software distributed function as well, so user can have their own and install their own application from distributed software environment. Operational and management, unified management policy, full life cycle application management you can have in our VDI solution, remote support for the center. Let's suppose a user is having a issue with his VDI VM and it is not opening some of the application or any of the issue faced by the user end user. So administrator can take a remote session with that particular user and have a remote session and do the troubleshooting remotely. But in a traditional PC, you need to integrate the solution for VNC or any other remote access solution. Okay, that solution comes inbuilt in our VDI solution. And then the cost of deployment, server plus end device. And here you have only one PC. Staff, like how many staff you need for how many users. Like we as a Sangfor VDI provider, we say that one staff is enough to manage 250 VDI users. Okay, but in case of PC, the report shows one IT staff can manage only 100 users. Okay, as compared to the electricity consumption, servers consume 500 to 600 watt, and thin client only consume 10 watt. And see your PC itself consuming 350 watt per PC. Imagine you have 100 of user and it is multiplied by 350 watt. That much energy you are consuming. And while using our thin client as an end device, you are only using 10 watt per client per end user. So you are saving your electricity cost as well. Hardware damage rate, long life cycle for the server. As you guys know, the server lifespan is more than your PC, and the resource utilization is better than your PC. So in a standard data center is easy to replace from thin client in the office. High damage rate as compared to PC, you have high damage rate. Let's suppose power fluctuation, power supply failure, a motherboard burn, motherboard failure, hard disk failure. So there are so many complexity with your traditional PCS. So now comes what security and simplicity we are giving in our solution. Here, if you have like
Bilal,
ultimate
in
security,
between there is
yes,
a question from one of a
yeah,
partner. Yeah, actually,
yeah, yeah.
they're asking like, do we have session recording in our VDI?
Session recording, we do not support a session recording in our video.
Okay, but instead
Yeah.
of that, we have the log recordings, right, from the starting to end.
See, basically, we have audit feature. As I mentioned, we have the audit feature, which will provide audit of each and every user. So you can do the auditing of each and every users.
Basically, the logs, right? Which means
Yes, yes, these are
oh,
logs.
okay, fine, okay, okay, thanks.
So, basically, recording a session is against the compliance. You are recording a session, and it's why it is against the compliance. He is not aware of it. The end user is not aware of it. So that's why it is, if it is, mutual understanding and you are recording the session, then it is fine. But it is against the compliance when you are
As
recording
well as I
without
guess the
informing.
storage
Yes,
part is also a trouble, right? Like, when there is
yes,
session
yes,
recording, there is a huge storage
definitely,
capacity also required.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Bilal.
Yeah. In one more solution, like as you guys know, Sangfor is a security company, so we embed our security to protect your data and protect our platform as well. So how we are securing and we are providing you the security, access security, network security, user behavior security in case of like how user is behaving, built-in security and integrated security in our solution as well. Simple and effective unified management panel, as I mentioned, you can control it centrally. Converged infrastructure, application management, how you can manage the application, blacklist, whitelist, and allow certain application to be run on your VDI solution. Software distribution, as I mentioned, that we have a software distribution functionality, so it will distribute certain software that is required for users to install that application on their VDI VM. So user self-service. This is very good service. Let's suppose a user is having, is touching his threshold limit. Like 90% he is consuming his RAM and 90% of his processor or 90% of his storage. So he can request a self-service to increase his hard disk or to increase his RAM. So he can request it, and only when administrator approve it, and it will automatically improve as per his request. Okay, this is very good feature in our VDI solution. Ultimate smooth, like we have zero bus peripheral mapping, like we can add any peripheral devices as well. HEDC patent technology we are giving in our VDI solution, HTML5 video redirection while using video in VDI solution or VDI VM. SSD acceleration, we are providing much more faster acceleration which comes with our SSD solution as well, and vGPU 3D solution. If you are using a 3D application, so you can use 3D graphic card in our server and avail a 3D graphic application. So this is end-to-end security design while you are accessing your VDC VM outside your network or outside your company network. So what security we are giving in shape of like accessing your VDI from internet or work from anywhere or work from home situation. As I mentioned, we are compatible with your PC, we are compatible with your laptop, tablet, and we have our own thin client as well. And we are compatible with some of the model of third-party thin client as well. So while connecting, so you have first step is connecting through a local user or your domain user. Then the second step of security is multi-factor authentication. So we are giving you the multi-factor authentication as well. The password policy, let's suppose you can set a complexity, you can set a minimum, alphabet requirement, alpha character requirement, and the duration of your password means changing like every 3 months you need to change the password, like you can do that password policy. Terminal security check, like which terminal you are connecting to, okay, like the compliance check. USB blacklist, you can blacklist the USB that will not work with your PC, laptop, or the thin client. Desktop anti-screen shot. Let's suppose you are accessing your VDI VM to your laptop or PC, and you are trying to uh, capture it from snipping tool or any tool which can take a screenshot. So it will be anti-screen shot. We are enabling it, and a user cannot take a snapshot while working with a VDI environment. And there will be a watermark if someone take a photo, a picture from outside the VDI environment with his mobile phone, then there will be a watermark. So you can easily, administrator can check who, who leaks the information by seeing their watermarking on the desk. Built-in VPN encryption, dual network isolation. As I mentioned, we have uh, built-in firewall, distributed firewall as well, VM isolation, management network isolation as well, application security. You can manage the application, which application need to be run on that PC and laptop, individual roles and access and video records as well. Like you cannot record a video session in the VDI, okay, to leak that video of your critical, data. Individual role and access, that you can have an individual or a group of role to that particular group of user or individual users. Data security, no data shared in a local hard drive. Okay, so your data will be reserved and preserved in the server environment. Okay, USB access control, you can give a USB access control to your end devices. Like this USB, only this specific version or VID PID will work as a USB, and other than this, the USB will not work. And you can give access to read and write as well. Personal disk encryption, audit export data, like it will do the audit of like exporting or importing that data to your VDI VM, okay, and VM snapshot as well. Like this is the scenario of remote access security regulation. Like let's suppose we have two scenario where a user is accessing his desktop in office. So the policy will be applied in office policy, which is security policy one. Okay. And then if a user have two resources like desktop one and desktop two. So either you can have desktop one separate policy and desktop two separate securities policy. Let's suppose in desktop one, a user can have USB access, but in desktop two, user cannot have the USB access. So you can give independent policy to the user. And now a user connect remotely to that particular desktop, okay, desktop 2. And then you have a separate security while connecting from or other network. Like in office, you have your own network and you are connecting outside your network. So it applies a third policy. So you can do different policy setup for different connectivity or for different users. Okay, and you can allow a temporary policy. Let's suppose a user is want to have a USB access for a limited period of time. So you can allocate a temporary policy to that specific user, and he can, use the USB. And then when the time is expired, then it temporary policy will not be affected anymore. So here is the audit export document feature, what we are discussing on the security perspective, like prohibited exporting document from VM. You cannot export VM, you cannot export a file from your VM to your PC or laptop. Okay, only allow exporting document using a specific tool. There is a specific tool you can allow to transfer your or to export your file using that specific tool. The system record user document export behavior and the limit the size and quantity of that document. Like let's suppose it will record the behavior, how many times you have copied, how what is the size of that file. So administrator can limit that behavior as well. Like only you can copy and paste two times. Okay, only your maximum capacity is 50 MB or 100 MB file size you can copy or export. Okay, copies to copies of the exported documented documents are saved on the data center system. Like whatever he exported, the data will be saved on the data center. So warning policy can be set. Suppose that you are prohibited to copy the data and all these things. You can set these on the user by user basis. Okay. Now we have our own security setup, like I already mentioned, watermarking. So this is a watermarking which will be displayed to you while connecting to your VDI. Okay, when you enable it, it will print the watermark on your virtual desktop. It can show the account, what account the user is logged, show the IP address. You can customize it by your requirement. So the machine ID, MAC address, show time of the virtual machine, and full screen watermark as well. Like you can customize the text, what other text you want to be visible in your watermarking, and the font style as well. Application management and software distribution, as I mentioned, that we have a software management, software distribution functionality. So application only comes from the application container. The container was administrated and configured by the administrator. He configures some of the application in that container, which is secure, which is approved, and which is, like you can say, there will be no piracy or uh, what you can say in a normal term, that it is illegal or legal. Okay, so legal software can be installed with the help of our software distribution. Only that particular application you can install. Other than that, exe file or application you cannot install, which is given by the administrator. So software distribution does not require update template of VM. Like as I mentioned, you first develop or create a template. In that template, you already installed some pre-installed these application which is required by the user. Okay, let's suppose in future some of those user require an application. Okay, so you can publish these application by help of software distribution uh, function. Okay, so no need to install it in the template and update the template and then update the VM. So user can update or user can install it by themselves, and it is very effective and update application faster. So zero USB drive mapping, as I mentioned, that we have a peripheral device installation is based on the hypervisor instead of the OS. No change on the OS are required. Like what technology we are using, converge XCI and hardware. Some USB mapping design as a PC as well. Like all the PC peripheral, like whether it is a webcam, whether it is a card reader, scanner, you can add it in your thin client, in your PC, in your laptop, connected with a USB, and it will be visible to your VDI as well. Okay, but it should be approved by the administrator in the policy. Okay, so now we have our own HEDC protocol which improve performance and security. HEDC 2.0 make Sangfor VDI faster even on a bad network as well, using dynamic compression, caching, and content awareness. At the same time, it is like secure everything through encryption. Okay, endpoint data removal and granularly policy control built by our own PhD team with 50 plus patents. Okay, so it is a true experience, and it's a enterprise grade protocol which enhance our performance when you are using it VDI solution in a bad network scenario. Dynamic caching, content identification, dynamic compression of your data as well, progressive display. So these are the functionality we are improving in our HEDC protocol by using our own patent 50 plus patents. Now, as I mentioned, that VDI solution support 3D vGPU architecture, so you can run 3D application to accommodate 3D user, and we support multiple 3D application. As you can see, Maya is there, AutoCAD is there, Revit, and more application which is compatible with our 3D environment. You can install and you can use in our 3D solution in collaboration with the NVIDIA Grid vGPU. We support NVIDIA latest vGPU model as well. Without GPU server, or our hypervisor is compatible with the list of NVIDIA graphic card. And by supporting this, we also support like shared solution of vGPU. Like vGPU can be shared to the multiple VM and pass-through solution. One GPU can be mapped to one VM as well. So both scenario, both type we can support, like sharing a 64 GB of GPU card to multiple VMs, or sharing a 64 GB to only a specific VM. So we support both scenarios. Here, the performance we observe in our own lab, like test it in a Sangfor lab shows that the Sangfor VDI consume less bandwidth for the same activity, which save customer bandwidth, resource, and gives Sangfor user an advantage in poor WAN connection. Okay, so you can see we have multiple, um, we tested in multiple application like MS Word, PDF, Microsoft Power, and you can see here we have 50 kbps. Okay, and other technologies like Huawei and Citrix are consuming more bandwidth while working on a MS Word application. While working on a PDF, we consume only an 80%, 80 kbps. We while working with the MS PowerPoint, because PowerPoint has much more, visualization and graphic. So we support like 240 kbps. Other Huawei and Citrix support more than 200, like 260 and 450. While comparing on a video playback, you can see we support 2000 kbps, and then the Huawei and Citrix support more than 400, 4000 kbps. So this user and this saving of bandwidth is possible when you are going with our solution. And how we make this possible with our HADC protocol, and then the skin encryption. In a summary, Sangfor as a security company provide you ultimate security, simple and efficient management, and seamless user experience in all the products, including like Sangfor VDI solution, enhanced performance and reliability, ensuring security, ensuring secure communication as well to protect the data of your organization. Okay, so we have ultimate security, as we discussed, simple and efficient management from the deployment and till the user experience. We say that we are, providing a user friendly environment in security plus seamless experience. Okay, there will be no, add-on module to be integrated to have this much functionality. So all the management panel, all the policies are being supported by our VDC. Okay, so VDI, this is the second last portion part, like Sangfor VDI scenario and case study. We will discuss, Oman customer. We have a very big customer here in Oman, OIB. It is Oman Investment Bank, which they are using whole, you can say the servers, hypervisor, the VDI, and our own SCP, our own firewall, and our own storage as well. So complete end to end, they are using Sangfor solution. So here you can see they have HCI clusters. In the first cluster, you can see HCI plus VDI, 5 server. In a first phase, they purchase 5 servers for their application. Like they are using web server, they are using AD server, they are using file server in this cluster. Accommodating VDI as well of 100 users. Okay, which is integrated with their domain. Okay, the user is authenticated by domain, and we allow specific cameras, scanner, and USB token as well. As you know, in bank scenario, USB is not allowed. So we allowed USB for some special function which require to enter a USB token. So for that, we enables only the specific USB which is used for token, and allow user to log into that particular application. So that scenario we can provide, and we can whitelist and blacklist the USB as well. And in the phase two, they see that our VDI is working very good in the local environment as well as in outside the environment as well. And I can, show you that in the picture you can see the PR and DR. These are different location data center. And you can see here all the VDI VMs are in this cluster. So they are creating a VPN tunnel to their head office. So none of their devices, like the software or hardware, are in the headquarter. Okay, so all of 100 users are relying on the IPsec tunnel connection. So they are happy enough. So in phase two, they purchase more 30 user VDI solution in DR as well. And they increase the user count from PR to 100 to more 120, and they are increasing it while they are onboarding the new employees as well. So they are much more happy with our technologies like VDI, built-in security with our hypervisor. They are using our hypervisor as well in all the cluster. We are compatible with multiple applications like Linux, like they are using Oracle in our setup as well. So we have, you can say, we comply their compliance by giving them a VDI solution, okay, by securing their data, which can be accessed through work from anywhere or through the remote session, as you can see in the picture of this diagram. Now, the Sangfor VDI demo. Before that, I will explain you the type of resource solution we can provide in our VDI solution. Like virtual desktop solution. In that virtual desktop solution, we can provide a user like they can have a full desktop scenario. Okay, like use and feel as you are using a desk. Okay, then we have inside full desktop, we have persistent and non-persistent shared desk. Okay, so what is the difference between persistent and non-persistent? Like the persistent is dedicated to that particular user. Whenever a user log into that VDI, it will have a specific and dedicated VM. So what is everything what he is working on, it is saved on that particular VM. And in a non-persistent, when a user come and log in to a VDI solution, it will allocate a VM. But when he log out and comes again log in, then he will be having a different VM. Okay, so this is a difference between persistent and non-persistent. And when he log out, his C drive will be reset. So whatever you deploy a VM with your template, so it will reflect as a fresh VM for our new users. Okay, and then the scenario is multiple application users like PC. Virtual app solution. Here we have like a solution where a user don't require a full desktop, like icons and other multiple application and a full desktop scenario. So only application delivered to user, not a desktop. When he log in to the virtual app, it will only show the resource which are given by the administrator, like whether it is a browser, whether it is a MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, or any other application which is given by the administrator in a resource pool. Okay, and then a physical access, like it can be a physical PC or a 3D workstation that can be accessible through multiple user. User can access to the physical PC to ground the full desktop, like you can say a remote desktop solution. There is a PC. We can map that PC to a specific user, and they can work on that 3D PC or 3D environment. So here is the scenario. A user login with his virtual desktop client in a laptop, and you can see he has three resources. Okay, VDI, one desktop, two desktop, and three desktop. So as I shown you that you can have a one login, but you can have a security policies, different policy sets. Okay, so when he log in to that particular resource, he has a different policy set. When he log into this particular resource, it might be having a um, different OS like Linux. And first is Windows. Second, we can give Linux operating system as well, and then we can give him a multiple of application as well. Like application he can also use without going to the desktop scenario. I will play that, and you can see. Okay, you just click that resource, and you have a feel of the desktop. So your desktop, full desktop is available. You can create any of your file, folder, application. You can do any work with whatever you are doing with a PC. But your data will be saved in centralized servers. Okay. Next one is our demo of virtual app solution. Whenever a user log in, an administrator give only the privilege of virtual app, like it can only see the app that are mapped to that particular user. Okay, so Chrome, PDF reader, Paint, Notepad, and other application which will be installed in your program file and all, other folder. You can map it to the resource of that particular user. Here you can see we click the resources and only that application will open. Okay, here you can see only this Notepad plus plus is open. When he click to the browser, and only the browser will open. So this is our virtual application solution. Okay, so we end our session here, and hopefully you will understand like what are the security benefit, what are the performance enhancement, and what are the cost effectiveness of this VDI solution. If you have any question, you can contact me and our sales colleague as well. So we will be, supporting you in all of your VDI project. Like if a customer has a VDI requirement, we will go with you. We will convince them that how we can give you like security, like how we are cost effective as well, and what benefit you are getting to protect your data, which are, critical in the nature. Any question, do ask me, and if possible, you can email me, and we can work together. Thank you guys for your presence, and we will end now the session, and we will love to work with you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.